Hey all, so boy do I have a lot to say about this latest Puzzlevision show. Something that had been foreshadowed previously was Mr. Puzzles becoming frustrated with some of the crazy antics of the SMG4 cast and his imperfect control over them. This all culminated in this episode with Mr. Puzzles becoming so frustrated with Mario's retarded antics that he accidentally gave Mario an opportunity to escape from his control. After placing Mario outside of the show, in the 4x3 borders, some glitching caused by Mr. Puzzles' growing insanity frees Mario from the no-no zone, and this allows him to walk away from the show and towards a strange screen. He walks into the screen, and this causes him to be seemingly absorbed into it. It's pretty safe to assume that the screen represents the fourth wall, and by walking into it, Mario literally broke through the fourth wall and freed himself from Mr. Puzzles' show and control. This theory is backed up by the updated banner in the new community post, where we see Mario punching through Mr. Puzzles' show towards the fourth wall. Now, it is still unclear what exactly the realm that Mr. Puzzles' show takes place in is. Were all the SMG4 cast trapped within the TV from the castle basement, or has Mr. Puzzles literally taken over the SMG4 universe? Since we do not know this answer definitely, it is not too entirely clear what fourth wall Mario has broken into exactly, but I'm going to operate on the assumption that Mr. Puzzles took over the SMG4 universe, and so Mario has broken out into the outer bounds of the SMG4 channel. I think that, since Mario was absorbed into the fourth wall, he may have gained the same fourth wall breaking powers that Mr. Puzzles has, as well as now being aware of the situation of Puzzlevision taking over the SMG4 channel and trapping all of his friends. My prediction for what may play out at the start in the fifth and final Puzzlevision show next week is that Mr. Puzzles will be trying to run one of his regularly scheduled shows, but Mario will be trying to mess things up from the fourth wall in his own stupid ways. This would probably serve two purposes. One is just to piss off Mr. Puzzles by ruining his show and lowering his ratings, and the second is to try to free his friends and to free their minds from Mr. Puzzles' control. Mario will probably succeed in both of his aims, and I think after his friends are freed, and Mr. Puzzles is significantly weakened by the loss of his performers and the poor ratings, plus his growing insanity, we will probably finally see Clench return, after seemingly hiding his presence from Mr. Puzzles, and as I've predicted before, I think he will be revealed to be some fourth wall entity like Mr. Puzzles, who will probably be crucial to defeating Puzzlevision once and for all. It would have been nice to have had some hints towards what Clench may be up to before this final show, but since this arc is not over yet, I'll postpone this critique for now. Actually, on the topic of Clench, in the first scene, where we see the fourth wall, if you look closely you can see it is highlighted blue. Blue is the color associated with Clench, so perhaps this fourth wall is actually related to him in some way. Maybe he will guide Mario on how to free his friends and fight back against Mr. Puzzles. But it is also worth noting that in the shot where Mario walks into the fourth wall, the blue glow around it is gone. So this may suggest the glow was just an insignificant effect. Whatever happens, I think this upcoming fifth show will probably be the finale to the Puzzlevision arc, and it will probably be a movie on the same scale as Western Spaghetti. I originally predicted there would be a movie after the fifth show, but I no longer think this is likely. This is mainly due to the large cliffhanger from this show, emphasized by that ellipses and question mark. Also, the darker outro sequence and the lack of music during it is a hallmark of SMG4 episodes with dark endings that lead into movies or what-ifs. There's also the fact of the significant banner change, which may suggest something bigger is coming, and the fact that SMG4 never likes dragging continuous stories on for very long without major breaks in between. If my prediction is correct, I believe we will get a trailer on Wednesday, and if we do not, then my prediction is wrong. This trailer would probably be presented by Mr. Puzzles in an old-timey Hollywood fashion, similar to the poster released at the beginning of the arc, which would have element of it messed with by Mario. By the way, the reason Mr. Puzzles would want to make a movie is due to his growing desperation for 5-star ratings. This growing desperation has been very obvious with the latest show, which broke the convention of being a parody of kids' cartoons, and that title and announcement post just screams of desperation, and like he is running out of ideas. He would probably view a movie as his last-ditch effort, as that might bring interest to his show. Once again, my criticism of the sponsorship segment from Once Upon an SMG4 and the Murdered Drones ad from last week's show also applies to this week's Murdered Drones ad. I'm also a little disappointed that those scenes from last week's show hinting at the game show spectacular were not directly used in it, especially because one of those scenes had Melanie in it. It was nice to see Jujub and Karen, but I would have liked to have seen all of the main cast in the Puzzlevision show by now, with the most significant missing characters being Melanie, Swag and Chris, and Seiko. But perhaps they will appear in the 5th show. So once again, I'll postpone this criticism until my Puzzlevision saga review. Bye.